above the blue waters of Seneca Lake, where wine country meets raw horsepower, sits one of America's most legendary racetracks. This is Watkins Glen, a cathedral of speed, a cornerstone of road racing history. From the days of open-wheel icons to the thunder of muscle cars, Watkins Glen has hosted the brave, the bold, and the unforgettable. And today, the tradition continues with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. 12 corners, endless elevation, and every twist and turn, just like this season, is unpredictable. The TA and TA2 classes arrive with storylines that swerve, tight battles, surging rookies, and seasoned champions who know this place shows no mercy. This is where legacies are tested and where the next chapter begins. Welcome to the Trans Am Racing Series presented by Pirelli. High in the hills above Seneca Lake sits a 3+ mile serpent sprawled out through the rolling countryside. Like a siren of speed, she will tease and tempt a driver. Are you feeling brave? Can you hold the throttle open a little longer? Maybe brake a little later? If you succumb to her temptations, you will become a footnote in the history of this legendary circuit. Win here, and you can become a living legend whose name will forever be whispered through the trees around this famed American speed palace known as Watkins Glen International. Hi everybody, welcome to the Glen. Ralph Sheheen here with you. You know, if you were here in 2017, a young driver by the name of Lally had his first ever Trans Am race here. Won the pole, set the fastest time, and won the race. And Andy now has progressed to being the president of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. That's a heck of a story.
That was a heck of a start and a big, massive amount of fun that I had that day. Claudio Burton and the guys down there gave me a shot in 50 car. Ironically, this is the 50th Trans Am race at Watkins Glen, so really looking forward to sharing some old stories, and have been having fun, enjoying, reminiscing with the fans that we had here this weekend here, talking about that time. That was 8 years ago. Seems like a longer time ago, but an absolute blast. And of all places to rip a Trans Am car around a track, Watkins Glen is the spot.
Yeah, technically, Sebring is the birthplace of the Trans Am Series, the site of the very first race in 1966. But you talk about places like Laguna Seca and Watkins Glen, and their history within the series is huge.
It is, and any car that you race at Watkins Glen is amazing. But 900 horsepower. Heard me say it over and over again. Tricky car to drive. An absolute rocket ship is flying up through the S's, trying to hold it flat out here, and coming up to the bus stop at 180 miles an hour, flying over those curbs, negotiating the rest of these fast sweepers here. There's just nothing like it.
As we said, 50 years ago, the first Trans Am race was held here. Let's take you back and show you some of the history of Trans Am at the Glen. Nestled in the heart of New York's Finger Lakes, Watkins Glen International isn't just a racetrack. It's a proving ground, a temple of speed, and a cornerstone of American motorsport. It all started in 1948, not with a track, but with public roads, sports cars roaring through the village streets. After too many harrowing incidents on the public roads, the decision was made to build a permanent road course in the hills above Seneca Lake. In 1956, Watkins Glen International was born. Since then, almost every major sanctioning body has tested its driver's mettle on the upstate New York circuit, including Formula One, IMSA, and of course, NASCAR. By the mid-60s, as the Trans Am Series thundered to life, Watkins Glen answered the call, offering up its twists and elevation as a battleground for pony cars and legends. From the golden age of American iron to the cutting-edge machines of today, the Glen has hosted it all. From wild side-by-side sprints to championship-deciding duels. It's a place where history clings to the guardrails, and the echoes of V8s from every era still hang in the trees. Year after year, the Trans Am Series returns to Watkins Glen. not just to race, but to write the next chapter in a story 75 years in the making. Watkins Glen International, the past, the present, and the pulse of Trans Am racing. Andy, in your mind, if you had to put it shortly, what is the key to being fast at Watkins Glen?
You've got to get the car right, and then you've got to have the guts to hold that right foot down to the floor, because this is tricky. You get big speed into the S's, and the car doesn't tell you it's okay to be flat until about 3 seconds after it's not okay to be flat.
Yeah.
So you've got to have the confidence that you've arced it in right, and that grip is going to be there when the car rolls into that hill. If not, it's too late. You can't get out and get back in and expect to keep that momentum roll from the bottom of 2 all the way to that bus stop.
Yeah, you're already committed. Well, the fan walk is underway, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to immerse you into the fan walk and see the cars up close before we get racing with Paul Menard and the rest here live on Speed Sport 1.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best race and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, pile-high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
We are back here at Watkins Glen International Raceway, looking down from our drone onto the car at the front of the grid. Dyson on the pole, Adam Andretti starts second, Paul Menard inside of row 2, Tomy Drissi next to him. Then it has Gralla and David Tarek. And then that is Amy Ruman, although it's not a red Corvette. Amy had a pretty heavy impact coming out onto the front straightaway yesterday afternoon, and her red Corvette sustained some very significant damage, although when you look at it cosmetically, it doesn't look that bad. But underneath, she was telling me about an hour or so ago, the car is all kinds of tore up, the frame is bent and so forth. So they're going to focus on getting that car ready for 6 weeks from now when we go to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park outside of Toronto, and she's going to do a start park today, Tomy Drissi's number 7. And we are going to go down into the middle of the fan walk. Here's our buddy Eddie Kerr.
Fantastic day for Trans Am racing here. We have a dozen cars across our TA class and our multiple GT classes, and let's run you through just the atmosphere you get for coming to Trans Am race. It's not just you get to sit in the stands, you get to meet the drivers, you get to have autographs be signed, and you get right up close and personal as you get to see the 55 there in Milton Grant, who has been such a key part of this SGT class. He was the champion in 2022, currently signing some autographs. As we move forward up the grid to the 00 of Ray Mason, made a start earlier this season at Mid-Ohio. Ray, going into this race, just how are you feeling to run this Watkins Glen track?
Well, look, it's an intimidating track. I haven't been here in quite a while. And these things with 530 horsepower, I'm a little on the scared side, but I'll get it. So it's going to be a big practice session for me. So we'll get going faster and faster as the race wears on.
And those who haven't, driven around a track before, what are, in your opinion, the most challenging sections of Watkins Glen?
Coming out of turn one, going up through the S's, and then it's surprising how fast you can take the bus stop if you really got to tighten it up and go through this. So all important stuff.
All right, thank you so much, Greg. Best of luck. And moving up to this beautiful yellow-black Corvette, a guy who has had a lot of experience racing GT cars north of the border of Canada. James Beaton joined us for Trans Am this weekend. And James, just how are you feeling to be racing here in the States at a track like Watkins Glen?
One of my favorites. Been coming in for years and wouldn't feel normal if I wasn't here, sort of thing. So, look forward to it. And, it's a little bit hotter than we're used to, but we can survive.
And then what makes this one of your favorite tracks?
The speed. Cornering speeds and overall, and it presents its challenges, sort of thing. Kind of like VIR and Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and the faster ones. It's kind of the older school, like sort of stuff that we grew up on, right? So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much, James, and best of luck. Thank you. Moving up towards the front of our SGT class, the guy who has just been fantastic throughout the entire course of the season. Josh Carlson here in the number 36 has been dominant. He is your championship leader in the class in that beautiful blue and black Ford Mustang, getting ready to roll off. And then moving up here, an interesting story. Amy Ruman has had to move to a different car for the race this afternoon. She started in her normal number 20. She started in her normal car and then moved into the number 7 at Drissi Motorsports because of an incident earlier in the weekend. Amy, how lucky are you to be able to step into a different car and then still have the chance to start this race today?
Yeah, I'm super grateful for Tommy and let me climb in this number 7 and try to get some points for us today, stay in the points championship race. And unfortunately, yesterday we had a real big crash with the McNichols 23. Valley Automotive Group Chevrolet Corvette, and it was early on in the test session, and a piece of suspension broke, sending us straight into the wall. There's nothing much I could do about that. So just really grateful for the opportunity today and, try to get some points here and stay in it.
All right. Thank you so much, Amy. Yep. Moving forward to the 57, David Pantera currently running P6 in the championship. Seeing right up with the bodywork of the car and going into this race. What makes you about running this Watkins Glen track?
Well, just Watkins Glen. It's an iconic track, and it gets our attention going up those S's. It's a racer's racetrack.
And then, does it make it any different for you inside the car, given how warm it is being in I-80s today?
Yeah, the track is slicker when it's hot like this, so you've got to act accordingly. You got to save the tires as much as possible and understand it's 100 miles still long. It sounds like a short race, but it's a long race, and you got to save the car and the tires and the brakes.
All right, thank you so much. Best of luck today. Moving up to this bright pink, fantastic livery for the number 2 at Kaz Gralla, and it's been a few years since you ran in the Trans Am series, but having some Xfinity starts this year and then being able to step back into the TA car. What makes this car different from some of the other stock cars that you get to drive on a more regular basis?
Well, it's like turning up the grip and the power to 500%. These things are so fast. Glad to be back here with you guys, with Pancho Weaver. Thanks to Overplay for giving me a chance to play this weekend. I'll be back here at Watkins Glen for the Xfinity race next month, so this is perfect for me to get warmed up, get reacquainted here, and to have some fun, because, man, these things are a blast, and they are so fast. I mean, we are hauling around here, 1:45 seconds. So it's going to be fun today. We don't maybe have the pace that we hope that we have. We're P5 here on the grid. Maybe we can try to pick 1 or 2 of them off. But we might need a little luck in this race here.
All right, thank you so much, guys, and best of luck. He was a winner in his last race in Trans Am going back to 2022 at Road America. As we move up to the front 2 rows, Tomy Drissi in the number 8 will start the race in 4th position in that fantastic black livery and scheme. And then moving up next to the top three. Yeah. He was fastest in practice, and he is P3 in qualifying. Paul Menard, excited to get going here at Watkins Glen. Are you looking forward to this race?
Oh yeah, Watkins Glen's a great track. Been coming here for years. Only second time with the boot, but still learning that part of the track. But it's always great to see the fans up here. The S is the bus stop, very historic parts of motorsport, and we'll go see what we have.
And then being quickest in practice, do you think you have the pace in this car to be able to get to the front?
Yeah, I felt really good about the car. We actually had a little ignition issue had a miss in the engine in qualifying, so we're a little bit down on power, but still qualified third. We got that fixed, and only got 2 cars to pass, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. Best of luck. And then moving to the front row, always great to be able to talk to the number 17 of Adam Andretti. And Adam, been hanging right up near the front all weekend. You have 5 podiums on the season, looking to make it 6 this afternoon.
Oh, 100%. And you always want to be at that top step, but these 2 next to me are going to make that quite the challenge. But this top-liner Chevrolet Camaro has been running well all weekend long. We unloaded pretty fast. We put in a pretty good qualifying run this morning, and just got to get 100 miles in, run our race, and focus on that, and focus on what we have here and the big picture, and bring home a good race for the fans out there. Thanks for tuning in, and looking forward to a good show.
And then starting on the front row, what is your strategy kind of going into the start of this race?
For the green flag to drop and figure it out from there, because any strategy you have goes right out the window the second that rag drops. So we'll just it all depends really on what happens with these 2 on the start, where I will position myself.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate it as always. And then moving to the top spot on the grid, a fantastic run of poles for this team. And then Chris Dyson is the next car on pole for today's race at Watkins Glen. Chris, just how are you feeling being able to lead this field to green?
Well, I feel great. The Jim Weed car's been fast here the whole weekend, and obviously we've got some family and friends here. We had a great race here last year. I mean, everybody wants to win at the Glen, so it's going to be a tough fight, but I feel like we've hit the ground running here.
And then you mentioned family and friends being here. Just how cool is it to be able to race in your home state of New York?
Yeah, we just love it. I mean, and a good turnout here. Awesome for the promoter to have us back here year after year. I think we put on great shows, and obviously it's not far down the road from our home in Poughkeepsie. So all the boys are looking to try to get a win on the board today.
And then fantastic to hear from Chris Dyson. We have 2 cars in the championship fight trying to chase down championship leader Paul Menard on the front row. And we'll see how Chris Dyson and Adam Andretti fare. And back to you, Ralph.
All right, Eddie, thanks. And there is Paul Menard, one of the few drivers in the field, along with Kaz Gralla, who have actually run both the short course, which NASCAR runs here, and the long course, which everybody else runs here. So we had a chance to chat with Paul about the difference between the 2 different layouts.
Like Mid-Ohio, I think we had the best car. I got spun turn 1. I just made a mistake and went off on my own. But I think we had the best pace in the race. Road America, we just couldn't hang with them down the straightaway. I felt like through the back half of Road America with the technical section, we were faster, and under braking, I was way better than those guys. But they'd pull us too much down the straightaway where I couldn't really make anything up. And then had a flat tire. So bad points for us a couple weeks ago, but we're just going to maximize this week with hopefully keep the tires on the car, keep the car on the track, and have a good pace throughout, and we'll gain some points. Yeah, first time I ever came to Watkins Glen was 03 is my first ever NASCAR Cup Series start with Andy Petrie Racing. Big eye opener. Got to race against all my heroes. Wound up beating Jeff Gordon on the last lap, which was really cool. To finish 29th, I think it was. So, and been coming back pretty much every year since. So, my last NASCAR start was here in a truck series. I think we finished 6th or 7th. A few years ago, but yeah, it's a fun track. First running the boot was last year with Trans Am. All my previous starts have been on the short course, so obviously had to learn a series of corners that I had never run before. But the rest of the track's the same old Watkins Glen, high speed, great passing zones. It's a track where you can really pass at. You can set up for passes and make things happen. So a lot of fun coming up here. Love the area, and a little hotter than normal, but we'll have that.
That's what I was curious
I don't think you gain any, but I don't think you lose any. You know, on the NASCAR track, there's a great passing zone from turn out of the carousel, turn 5 into turn 6 or turn 10, however you want to call it, the left-hander. That's a great passing zone. We lose that with these cars, but you gain one going into, I think it's turn 7, and you gain one going into turn 8. So you maybe actually gain an extra passing zone, but definitely cuts the speed down. A little more technical the way that the road racers run it. You know, with the stock cars, you basically set up as a high-speed road course, a low-speed oval. With these cars, you have to set up for both left and right much more, and there's trade-offs always with it. So far so good though with the car. Car's been really good. We've second last year. Had a hell of a race with Dyson, and hopefully we finish first this year with another hell of a race. This is one of the few times going into qualifying where we're not really making any adjustments because it's hot today. Tomorrow we qualify at 8 a.m., so the track can be way down. And at that point, you're just kind of guessing on what the car needs. The car felt really good in this last practice in the heat. Hopefully the sun's shining tomorrow and it's a hot race because I think we got something for 'em.
Paul's going to get what he's hoping for, Andy. It's going to be a warm one out there for sure. And talking to some of the other drivers, they expect it to get very slick out there, which is exactly what Paul's looking for.
This track abuses tires. You are in constant high load. Even your inside tire that's getting kind of dragged around the inside. Got to be careful with how much camber you run, so it will be a tricky for tires and drivers.
Good thing we got those Pirellis.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's head back down. Eddie once again.
And here to give our invocation, he's been going to races here since the 1969 U.S. Grand Prix. Please welcome Marvin Gray.
Please remove your hats and let us pray. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here and the beauty of your creation at this historic track. Now we ask your blessing on all those who are involved today, the drivers, the crew, the officials, the track workers, the staff, all that helped to put this on. And Lord, we thank you for our fans. We pray your special blessing upon them. And now we ask your blessing on our troops, our safety forces, emergency workers, all those who serve us. And Lord, we pray for peace around the world. In your name we pray, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, nicely done. Thank you. As we get ready and get a little closer to firing up the engines and getting this one underway. We have 3 different categories running here today. Obviously, we have the big, powerful Trans Am cars. Then we have 2 different categories of GT racing machines running with us today. And Andy Lally broke down the classes for us inside the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli.
The Trans Am Series has been around since 1966. What it has evolved to in that time is right here, a 900 horsepower, 2,800 pound beast. This thing produces over 2,000 pounds of downforce, flies around the track on 18-inch Pirellis. They're 14 inches wide at the rear, 13 inches wide at the front, 18-inch wheel. Hauling tail around here. They're one of the most vicious cars around. No traction control, no ABS, just a fire-breathing V8 flying around at 200 miles an hour. We have a wide variety of examples to run in our XG class. This is a Corvette. It's got 600 horsepower at the wheels, and it's run on the 18-inch Pirelli tires again. It's making a lot of downforce, and you're allowed a lot of variations in XGT. So we're going to see cars from all over the world competing. High horsepower, high speed. These cars have ABS, but they are not allowed traction control. Right between our GT class and our XGT class is ST. This is a very versatile car right here. This is a Howe chassis A2 that it started life at, but it's eligible SGT. You add 100 pounds, it's still the same Chevy LS motor, same Pirelli tires, same everything, but it's eligible to go race against the Porsche, the Mustang, and the Corvette that were more popular cars in this class. The 3 GT classes that we have in the Trans Am series is GT, SGT, and XGT. This is an example of our XGT cars. We've got a lot of different makes in this class because we're catching cars from all around the world. This is a Mercedes. It's producing about 550 horsepower. It's going up against some cars that have over 600 horsepower. This car in particular makes a ton of downforce. We're on our 18-inch Pirelli tires, and we've got probably 1,500 pounds worth of downforce that we get on here. And now moving on to our GT class. Here we've got a Mustang, 475 horsepower, 6-speed paddle shift. It's big downforce with the wing. It's got a huge splitter up front here. Also on our Pirellis, like every other car in our Trans Am series here, this car is going to go up against a wide range of marques here. We've got Aston Martin here. We've got Maserati here. We're racing against Porsches. We've got an Audi GT4 car here. Our GT classes encompass cars from around the planet, and the racing is amazing.
One of the exciting things about the Trans Am series by Pirelli is you get this wide variety of race cars, Andy.
It is for sure. We attract makes and marques from all over the place. We fit them into 3 different classes. Our SGT has typically been our most popular on that side. And yes, they're going to be a handful of seconds off our DA cars, but they are still absolutely flying around, especially at track Watkins Glen International.
Well, I know in some areas, for some people like my son Lucas, who's here with me today, at 11:30 in the morning, it's still pretty early on a Sunday morning to get up and get going, but it's time to wake up the neighborhood. Let's fire up the engines, Eddie.
And we're sitting down here at the starting grid, and it is a fantastic day for Trans Am racing. Chris Dyson looking to follow up on some of the success that he had at Road America and be able to drive that Jim lead forward into victory lane today. And he's going to be starting alongside a very challenging Adam Andretti. Going into practice and throughout qualifying, these top 3 separated by just around half of a second. Very close between Andretti, Dyson, and Menard. All 3 of these drivers have race pace. They're going to be right at front of the field throughout the course of the weekend. Also, keep an eye on guys like Tomy Drissi. And on top of that, Kez Grolla, who, as I mentioned, made a dominant win in his last start, Trans Am. That was in 2022 at Road America. Grolla was the winner at Road America and also qualified on pole. Race before that he ran in 2022 at Ohio. You're going to see him that bright pink TA machine, and we're going to also see some competitive GT cars on top of that. Josh Carlson, who has been the class field in the SGT class, has been fantastic throughout the course of the season, and he has been able to win a majority of the race across the course 2025, has that championship firmly in hand. So for Carlson, looking for yet another class win here at Watkins Glen. And we just have a great atmosphere for fans being able to take the chance to walk and be able to take the chance to meet the drivers. And that's one of the fantastic things about ending a Trans Am event. You get the chance to get right up close and personal with all of racing, and you get a chance to be able to see the cars as close as they are. And now we have excited young fans right here to give us the start command for today's race.
Drivers, fire your engines!
Well, I'll tell you, fire them up, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
pretty
that
good,
enthusiasm.
enthusiastic group of guys there. Guys and gals, our friends, our young fans. I like seeing them the most out at the track. I know that's how I got hooked, and great to see these fans enjoy a nice sunny day at Watkins Glen.
If you'd have told 6-year-old me I would have had a chance to say engines, I would have been out of my mind. Hey, this version of me would be out of my mind.
I've still to do this.
I did it once. Did it once at a USAC Crown race. It was great. All right, getting closer to the start. Stay with us here on Sport One.
Yes. Hi. WeatherTech's here.
Weathered is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. These are measured for liners, no drill mud flaps, car liner, bump step, seat protector, and hub phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proof and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you, hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names performance. Priced to your project affordable. And it's all backed by tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
And we are back here at Watkins Glen International Raceway, just up the hill in the village of Watkins Glen, down along the shores of Seneca Lake in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York. Beautiful part of the country as we look at Dick Pinteric's red, white, and blue with stars machine. And let's take a look at our track here. Andy, take me for a lap around this spectacular 3-mile facility.
One of the coolest racetracks on the road on planet here. We've got a downhill braking zone into our Mission Turn 1 and a downhill approach into our S's before compress huge up the hill to 234 for our Optima batteries S's, leading in still to an uphill back straightaway. That takes us to about 180-mile-an-hour approach into the world-famous bus stop, the Cube 3 chicane. This is one of the most challenging high-speed approach chicanes out there. You fly all 4 curbs before hitting the outer loop and dropping all the way back down through 5, 6, and 7. That's the latest toe, and then 8 is the heel of the boot, 9 is the exit of the boot, a super fast sweeping 10 and 11. Summit Racing turn 11 coming to our start-finish line here, and then over a 3.45-mile lap at Watkins Glen.
Should be seeing 2 pace laps here before this gets underway. In the field, there's our drone shot up over the chicane, the bus stop. Here comes the field, Trans Am machines.
And you know, I'm excited to see these drone shots. If we've got some cool drone shots of the cars flying the chicane curbing, that's going to look amazing. I know in our TA2 race yesterday, we had some great shots, and really looking forward to see what we got here this weekend with these TA2
It's our starting lineup. Dyson and Andretti on the front row, Menard and Drissi, Pirelli and Pinteric, Ruman and Masood, and then Josh Carlson and Beaton, followed by Mason and Grant.
Just 100 of a second between Andretti and Menard. Talk out that front row. Adam obviously on an attempt for a championship charge. He's the one chasing down our points lead, Paul Menard. It's the smallest that it's been in a while, with Andretti making up a bunch of spots last week, 2 races ago at America. And
here are the points. Menard has 673 to Andretti's 647. Dree mathematically still alive. Amy Ruman doing what she can to get some points here today. And Dyson, if he keeps on his winning ways, he's won 2 already this year. The team has won a total of 4. If he wins here today, it'll be win number 29 in his career. Ties him with the great Mark Donohue for second all-time on the win list, chasing and closing in on Paul Gentilotti's 31 victories overall in the series. So keeping it on that with Chris today.
Pretty amazing accomplishment in 8 years of driving in the Trans Series. And Chris sitting in P5 right now 502 points out. Realistically, he's looking shot at third in the championship, but one little hiccup from each one of our first and second place points leaders of Menard and Andretti, and he's in this championship hunt.
And we've seen that this year, right? We've seen Paul have problems at places like Road Atlanta, Adam with a big hit with Pintera at Sonoma. She's never know.
Especially at a place like Watkins Glen. You see how much space is between the edge of that track and that blue guardrail? There is not much room for error. You've got to gather it really quick and be really fast those reactions to keep it off of these walls.
So in talking to Adam earlier, I said, how are you going to play turn one on the opening lap? He said, well, it all depends on what Paul Menard does. If Paul Menard dives to the inside, he's going to shoot for the crossover and try to come back underneath. If Menard doesn't get there, just Adam and Dyson side by side going into one. I said I'll hang on the outside, try to use all that runoff, pinch maybe Dyson down a little bit, see if I can take it from there.
Sometimes that might be an unrealistic view on a road course into turn one, but the amount of banking that you pick up after the brake zone just at the apex is huge. So that outside line is absolutely usable for an outside pass.
The other thing to keep an eye on, these cars are full of fuel and the tires are not full to temp yet. Chris Dyson telling me the first couple runs through the S's are going to be just frightening from the driver's position. So here we go, looking for the green flag to get this 50th running of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli underway here at the famed Watkins Glen International. We're green and racing live, Speed Sport 1. Here comes turn one. Andretti on the outside, Dyson inside. Andretti trying to pinch him, right alongside as they come in to the Optima battery S's. Here comes Menard.
Just like I was talking about, that grip that you can use on the outside, Adam was able to get those tires up to temp and launch out of that S, is giving him a commanding lead, 10 car lengths straight away, as leaves Chris and Paul fighting for second.
Look, a gap he's open, and here comes the chicane. Andretti first one in. Dyson also telling me you can't attack the chicane as hard on these first two laps as you will about lap 30.
You've got to be careful on cold tires anytime you're at Watkins Glen here. You pound these cars so hard that you got to watch out on low pressures. But Adam Andretti is thinking win, he's thinking championship, and he's going straight away trying to open up that gap as much as he can.
He couldn't have played those first couple of corners any better than he did.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it from Adam before. We've seen that attack initially. This is a great opening lap here for him. We're seeing Kazla close in on Drissi as Dyson and Menard are trying to sort of find their own there. A little bit gap, comfort, no challenge their way, but we definitely do have a for fourth and fifth there.
All of the NASCAR star running right behind Drissi in that, I don't know what you would call it. It's not exactly purple, kind of pinkish. Challenger went out to Poncho Weaver's shops, and we've seen that car be very fast. Over the course of the year.
We've seen Kaz be very quick. We've seen his car on the hands of other drivers.
Boris said won that car this year.
Yep. Boris said, Brent Cruz, Overplay, the new sponsor on there. Really cool app. You guys got to download that and check out.
Yep. It's in the App Store, and you can shoot a little video clips and then go to the app, and it turns their video clip into a game. Really neat. All right, here comes Dyson up through those Optima battery S's with Menard trying to hang on his tail. Reach speeds of 180 miles an hour before the massive commitment into the chicane.
That is
here.
1.5 seconds that Adam opened up on the first lap. Now, at this stage in the game, knowing how hot it is out there, knowing the fall-off that this track creates with tires, Paul looking to the inside of Chris, maybe a little bobble by crowd of the bus stop. Chris being a little defensive, run him a little bit wide.
Boy,
coming
that's
through
aggressive
there.
in there, isn't it?
I think Paul playing the smarter game here, understanding there's still 90-some-odd miles left here. Chris showing a little bit of a door, Paul backing off, knowing that he's got room to go here.
And that's beautiful for Adam, because that's allowing him to gain a couple more tenths here and there, and just gap these two. Plus, it's going to force those two to eventually, Dyson and Menard, work those Pirellis harder to catch back up to Adam.
When you are leading a race and can look in your mirror and see second, third side by side, that's the best you could ask for, because those guys are going to beat each other up. Paul is coming off corner here. That off the heel, off the exit, a run each time. It's like he's either got really good drive off or a little bit more power under that hood there.
Swing wide out of turn 11 and down a long front straight here. And those Pirellis have got to be good. And by now, here comes Menard attacking inside 1-1. backs out of it just before the apex.
Boy, that's a guts call on both of their part here. Chris did not throw the lock. He was confident in his brake zone that he'd be able to go a little bit deeper. Paul took lunge, but on the maturity level took over. He realized he was probably going to get a little bit up alongside Chris. Off to race another handful of corners here.
And Drissi hanging back there in fourth, just behind Menard in the black and gold trench-wearing Motul Camaro.
Saw Chris push a little wide for drone view through the bus stop there. Again, we've seen this Chris in the past. It takes that car a while to get the front grip in. It takes those pressures a little long to come up. Whether those front pressures are lower, I'm not sure. But we've got, this is super typical Dyson Menard battle here. Whether they're first and second, third, or on down that line, they're always next to each other.
And Amy Ruman has made her way to pit lane in the number 7 trench-shorn Motul machine out of the Drissi Racing Stables, looking at Chris Dyson, trying to hold off Menard as they come back up at the boot.
I think what we saw there, I'm not sure if they explained that pre-race here, but Tomy Drissi competing with Amy for third in the points now, extended an olive branch after all their battles, and lent her that car so that she could at least start this race and points. Paul Menard now looking inside Christensen a lot earlier than last time.
Yep.
Can he be
He's
better
there.
at brakes?
Boy, Dyson can only turn in so hard, and man, Menard gives it back to him.
Man,
He was right there, Andy.
He was. Chris turned in a little bit earlier, sort of a little bit of a challenge. Are you ready to go door-to-door and knock some mirrors off?
Dyson some 2.7 seconds behind Andretti now. That gap getting bigger.
And again, you can see from that drone footage when they roll through there, Paul was able to keep a tighter arc, curb 2 and 3, and that's always. Oh,
He's
Paul
slowing. And so is Dyson. We're going full
I
course
think we'll
caution
course caution here. That was Paul backing
Yes.
off. I think he's the yellow beforehand. We've got a debris flag in turn 1. We might have some oil down here. Trying to get a word from our official here.
Masood all the way down in 12th. Not sure what has happened to the 21. Maybe if he's tied to the flag, because Masood had issues with that car earlier today too, getting ready for qualifying. Yep, there's the debris flag. So you see the yellow and red flag signifying debris and oil potentially on the track. Carlson leading in his GT category. He's 7th overall, but first in FGT. And then we have, here's Dyson.
Obviously, these drivers, as they get yellow, they want to actually, where a lot of times we want to keep these tires hot. You know, in a situation where they're getting too hot, we're not going to see them scrubbing the tire unless they go through some sort of debris, something, and need to get some marble. They're going to chill out. Right now, we're at what we call a code 60, which that is an immediate freeze on our speed, and all the drivers have to drive 60 miles an hour. You think it looks right now like they're doing 50 miles an hour out there. That's 60 miles an hour. Look on board here. You can see over Tomy Drissi's shoulder, going down to 50 for a corner. Our top speed when we're at code 60 is 60 miles an hour. That lets since it's high speeds, it lets our safety roll out those same speeds and not worry about the closing and the dangers of cars flying around here catching up still at 180 miles an hour plus as they try to worry to catch up to the pace car quickly.
So while they take care of the racetrack, we will take care of business. And we will return live here for Watkins Glen International Raceway. This one has just got started. Andretti leading so far every lap here at Glen. Stay with us for live coverage. Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli on Sport 1. Be right back.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way to get information to drivers is from using the Box HT2 system.
There's her set.
One place you overtake her at Sebring is really good in the brake zones. Like one right here.
Go around. There's the green. Her back in it. Look out, Miller, look out.
Back here at Watkins Glen, it's Kaz Ralla's car, the number 2, is bringing engine issues as the reason for the full course caution. They have pulled the number 2 off the racetrack. And we also have Amy Ruman out and Masood in the 21.
That's going to move David Pintera up to 5th place in TA. He's going to be back in Tomy Drissi. They had a little come together at Road America, a little drama. We missed it on the TV side, but they, at a really just after the kink, almost one of the highest speeds on the track through the sweeper, David and Tomy got together. A little bit of a that's racing sort of thing, but it took a bit of nose off of David, who was hustling, trying to make that pass. They came there. David had to come for some repair. So still a friendly rivalry, but a rivalry here. So I'll be looking for that to see who can take over the place position here between Drissi and Tarek.
While we follow pace car a little bit, let's go look back to start this initial start of the race and watch Andretti on the outside in the top liner Chevy Camaro, white and blue. Let's see how he gets around Dyson. On the outside here, forces the Jim Weed Mustang down inside as they come to the next set. Into the S as they go, and Adam around outside and gone.
And he just held it wide open. Chris, again, typically starts with a little bit of understeer. It's the biggest feedback that I typically get from him. So not wanting to wreck it out in the first race, knowing Adam was still on the outside, gave him that lane there, and that gave Adam a wider, straighter drive off, a little bit more banking there, and he took advantage of it. Great job on him. That top liner car, Claudio, Damon, and the guys have been hustling hard to get that car fast and get it to the front so that they can give Adam a weapon to take to the fight with Paul Menard and try to get this Trans Am champion.
Yeah, and talking to Adam, he said that has really been putting in the hours trying to find any little advantage they can, and they feel like they found a couple of things aero-wise that are helping them out with that top liner Chevy, and it seemed to be showing in the early stages here. However, this full course caution is not what he wanted. He had a nice healthy 2-second lead, and that is evaporated. Let's see what he can do on the restarters. It looks like the pace car lights are out. We're about to go out.
It looks like the way they're heating up those tires, accelerating and decelerating here, that we're going to be coming back for a single file restart. We'll probably see these pace car lights shut out momentarily on the entry to the heel of the booth. Adam's back off a little bit here. Getting that XL decel, getting that heat back into the contact pads of those mighty Pirellis as we get ready to roll back into action here. There'll be some speedy dry down on the inside, basically just past the apex of turn 1 and on down. So these guys want to think about that if they're making a move to the inside coming off that corner.
And don't worry, that's not a big eye on your TV screen. That's just our drone.
That's our drone. That's our
Yeah.
brave drone pilot getting some cool shots here. See that fence right there? As much as I want these guys to try to get down and close and closer to the car, not only is that a remote interference for their looks like we're not going to be going back here.
Not just yet.
Taking a little extra time to make sure we've got this track clean.
So it looks like at least one more lap here. Coming through.
Yeah, so what may have happened there, we have the speed dry down into 1. Kaz, I'm guessing, probably leaking a little bit of oil before that part there, and they'll be dropping something down there. Looks like pace car, that might just be a seam.
Yeah, it's hard to tell
that.
if that's
With the
a
cloud
seam or
cover, it's a
the
little
oil.
bit
I
of
think
a,
it is a seam.
Yeah, just a shiny reflection there, but they obviously saw something that they didn't like on the entry to turn 11 there.
And that's a sketchy corner. That's where Amy Ruman had her big hit yesterday and walloped that safer barrier. She said she was only able to take about 10 miles an hour off before the actual impact. She turned into the corner, everything was going fine. Suspension broke, turned the car, and she went straight to the wall. Hit it more flush than head on, but did a tremendous amount of damage to the underside of the car and even tweaked the frame some. So from here, Andy, she's going to have about 6 weeks to get her car ready before we show up at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park outside of Toronto at Ron Fellows' facility up there, another legendary Trans Am circuit. And then it's on to VIR, Barber, and wrapping up the year at Circuit of the Americas.
So 4 races to go. That's a significant portion. It's about a third of season left after this race to mount your charge, to get your points, to get your victories, to get all those things that those sponsors happy in the offseason that you're trying to re-sign for 2026 to amp your crew up, to get everybody stoked, to work harder in that offseason to get you faster. So the closing out of any race season is extremely important because you need to head into that offseason with a little bit of motivation.
And those are all very interesting and exciting racetracks. Of course, at Canadian Tire, the old Mosport, you have some very high-speed sections, some very challenging slow sections, a lot of elevation, tremendous amount of elevation, and very fast S's at VIR. Barber probably more technical than the first two that we're talking about there.
And Barber really, because of those the three other tracks. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Virginia National Raceway, and COTA all have a lot of races under their belt from the Trans Am Series. This will be our first time going to Barber. I've raced at Barber in a lot of different series. It's a lot. It was built to be a motorcycle track.
Yep.
So the opposite of what we're going to show up there with, but it's a tight, twisty, smooth. The presentation of the facility is absolutely incredible. The motorcycle museum that nowadays isn't just a motorcycle museum.
No.
There's F1 cars, there's NASCAR. It's an amazing place to visit. So for our fans close by, you've got to get out to that track. If you haven't, come watch some Trans Am racing, come visit that museum, come check out the incredibly, just the landscape there it's unbelievable.
Well, they call it the Augusta Motorsports tracks, right?
Absolutely. The artwork, the well manicured, every blade of grass perfectly manicured all the way around there. They yell at you. They get pretty mad when you hit their guardrails.
Yeah, they don't like that too much. Yeah, Mr. Barber was a huge fan, has always been a huge fan of motorcycles. Got to know him fairly well. Got to see his collection before he built the track and the museum, and they were all a giant warehouse, individually sealed in cases, stacked 3-4 high all around the warehouse. It was incredible to see. And his thing with the motorcycles was always find the best performing motorcycle of that era in any given category, whether it was braking, acceleration, handling, whatever it would be. That's what he wanted in his collection. And now, because of the racetrack, they were able to do the museum and let everybody see what he's acquired over the years. And it is truly one of the nicest collections you'll find anywhere in the world.
And one of the nicest museums, period.
Beautifully presented.
This isn't 50 amazing motorcycles.
No.
This is like 500 amazing
multi-story
motorcycles.
glass windows, just beautiful.
F1 cars hanging upside down, multiple
F1
cars, Indy cars. Yes, you got to have an upside down F1 car in your museum. Are you even a museum? I
guess
guess
you're not really legitimate.
You're not serious about it.
You're not.
Unless
you're
you're
just
hanging a
hobbyist.
1990 Benetton next to. When you've got Jean Alesi's F1 car next to Bobby Allison's Miller.
You're doing all right.
12 Cup car. It's surreal to stand there and then look across, a field. Essentially, you're looking like 100 yards away. This polished floor and these motorcycles all over the place. It's a great visit.
And you talk about Barber being a motorcycle track. I actually got to ride some motorcycles around there in the Kevin Schwantz riding school a few years back, and it is definitely a fun place to ride a bike.
I'm not touching it. I'm not getting I don't want to get hooked. I don't want to get anything.
Yeah.
As we see our top liner number 17 accelerating through this cool view, you can see the different lines. You can see where the pavement's worn as these guys roll through here. It's the yellow flag lap, so we're not clobbering over curbs here. We want to keep our tires intact. But you can see the way the pavement wears there, the racing line there. I'd like to see our guy get a little lower so we can see if we can attack some air. See what the guys are clearing as they're jumping over that first, second, and third curb on their way to swinging their hands out and just straight lining the fourth curb.
Emco Gears total laps led goes to Adam Andretti so far with 7 at the point position.
And that's every lap. Not going to guarantee, but I'm going to anticipate we're probably going to go green here.
Adam's playing games with these guys, stacking up a little bit and then getting to the gas. What do you think he does at the start of this race? Is he back him up just before he gets to 11 and then let's rip, or what would you do?
And obviously I lied here. We'll be yellow for one more lap here. Adam, I guarantee you, is not going to wait. The earliest possible spot that he pulled the trigger, he's going to pull the trigger, try to flat through turn 11, the last corner, and basically banking on his reaction time and the car behind of Chris Dyson to open up that gap a little bit on the rest of the field. If he knows Chris is having understeer issues, he's going to want to get on the gas really early so that Chris has to maybe do a little bit of a checkup through turn 11. And Adam, if he's got good turning front end, should be able to turn and go and stay flat through there, bring gears all the way to the brake zone of turn 1. Still clearing a little bit of speedy dry off the front. We want to make sure that we've got all the oil off this. These corners are too fast to take a risk here. We've got plenty of time left to get some good green flag action in here.
Let's catch up with the rest of the categories as our Trans Am Series cars continue down the front straightaway behind the pace car. We have Josh Carlson leading in SGT, where he started on the pole. Milton Grant, who's second in the championship, is second in the race, but he's 8th overall. Carlson 6th overall. And then we also have Mason. Oh, Mason just in front of Grant. I'm sorry, let's flip that around. Mason in front of Grant. They run 8th and 9th. And James Beaton running in XGT, the only car in that category today. He sits 7th overall.
Josh Carlson's got a QR code on the front, back, and side of his car to buy his merch. So if we get a good close-up of this, and we can pause this, you've got a chance to zoom in and hook yourself up with some Josh Carlson swag with his Dirks and Enceva sponsorship. The TC Fab Ford Mustang here, once again leading in SGT. I think he's won 6 or 7 races this year. 6 races, I believe.
He's on a 7-race win streak dating back to COTA of last year, plus all 6 races that he's competed in 2025. Pretty good run. Good guy to cheer for.
Milton Grant, I think, is on a 1-race win streak, as his last attended race was Mid-Ohio, and I believe he took the W there.
Yeah, and we are told we are coming to green for sure this time. Beaton, Moss, and Grant.
Yeah, James Beaton. That Corvette is cool. That is
and
cool.
Fast.
It has got a motor in it, and it's going to go. He hasn't hooked himself up with all of the wing and the splitter and all the other stuff. This thing is a bullet in a straight line. Probably has a little bit of room to go on his portion or his option of his development to get a little more arrow on that. But very cool looking car. Very quick driver and car combination.
Let's see what Adam does here this time. So we're hit up for 9. According to the rules, how soon can he get on the gas, Andy? And we got to wait.
It pretty much so we do have a restart zone here. I believe with TA2 we crunch it down quite a bit. We give him a little more leeway in TA. I think he's just going to be coming up on straightaway when he starts setting it up here.
Here we come, lights are out. Pace car headed to pit lane. Let's watch Andretti, Dyson, Menard, Drissi, top 4. Conteric in 5th. All right, keeping an eye on Adam. When does he pull the trigger? He's holding him.
Oh, he is.
He's holding him.
There they
go. There we go. Green flag is out. Look at Menard swinging to the inside on Dyson. Is he going to get there? He's right alongside again. No, he backs in, and Andretti has 2 car lengths as they go into Twan.
I couldn't tell if that was a puff of smoke from the kitty dryer or if Adam locked him up momentarily here, but again, charging into 1 and opening up that gap big.
I think it was the kitty litter, and man, is he razor sharp on the start button.
And they have worked on that car so he can fire off better. We are right back. This is exactly what Adam needed, wanted. Security right here, so now he can run his own line. We're right back to the race that we've had all year long, with whether it's Chris leading or Paul leading. They're right in each other's bumper, nose to tail. And
remember, Andretti led the points early stages of the year.
Yeah, gave back after 1 or 2 bad races in a row.
Yeah.
At a wreck at Sonoma, and then an issue following the next week when he jumped into Dyson's car.
At Laguna Seca.
Yeah. Chris reeling back in. This is not as much a gap as Adam was able to pull out straight away. 0.37 of a second for Adam now. It's just 2 car lengths, maybe 5-6 car lengths. Adam looks like he gets a good drive off. Obviously the accordion effect here, but boy, that's not just the accordion effect. That's a good launch off the heel. Again, probably Chris waiting on the front end. We can see him turn in here. Really, when his right hand's past 12 o'clock on a corner, like just a regular old 90-degree corner, and that's
Here's
Paul
Menard
inside.
Right
that's
there, he's got him going down into turn number 1. Dyson finds a Jim Wheaton Mustang back into 3rd as the Pittsburgh Paint and Stains Mustang moves up into 2nd. And the huge thing for Adam is he's got to keep Menard behind him no matter where they finish the race today.
He's got to gain all the way home through Coda. He needed Dyson to stay in front. He wanted that. As much as Dyson has been a threat and winning races, he needs that points gap, big picture gap. Man, look at Menard. The sparks flying off the 2nd and 3rd curb as he comes through there. Yes, that's a great shot of those cars.
Down into the boot we go.
Adam a little wider on his entry into the laces down here. Screw up the corner, getting that drive off. We don't usually see big line differences here, but that's quite a difference between Adam Andretti in the lead and Paul and Chris fighting for 2nd and 3rd right there. Maybe part of Andretti's secret of how he's getting around this track so quick. That pass, that fight, that let Adam open it up 1.5 seconds now. We're just about halfway into this race.
Menard's car bottoming out again as he climbs back up out of the boot, coming off the heel. Showering the sparks. Here we go, down the front stretch. Let's see what the gap is between Andy and Menard. The gap is 1.414 between Menard and Andretti. Menard ran a quicker lap by a 10th. Top 2, the only 2 in the 147 range. Now approaching 180 miles an hour plus as you get ready for the commitment turn-in at the chicane. Here it is, the Cube 3 architecture chicane. Look at Menard just flying the Mustang up and over those big curves.
Consistently seeing the spark on that 3rd curb. I think he's taking a little more 3rd curb than the other guys are. That's planting the right side, the rock on the floor there, rubbing a little metal off, and Paul visually now making some gains. Our long run car here started P3, struggled to make that pass, 3 or 4 failed pass attempts, but measuring up, Chris finally got by, and now instantly closing up on Adam here. Now, not only is this fight for the win, the fight for the championship, you got to replay a pass here. We were on board with Chris at first. It's Paul getting to the inside, maybe moving him over a little bit, saying, thanks for squeezing me last time, I'm going to squeeze you back over here. Still leaves him a lane.
And you know, Menard really got a great run at 11 because it was a little bit behind him as they came out of 10, headed to 11.
And again, I think we can see Chris. When we go to the onboard on Chris, you can see through the right handers, his left hand is way past 12 o'clock. And that's not that that's so far unusual. You were seeing it stay there. He's cranked his knuckles around 1:30, 2 o'clock. Really got a lot of wheel in it, trying to get that thing to cut across the middle. And when you've got that much wheel in it, it's hard to go to power.
Well, here's some frustrated news. James Beaton, unfortunately, 82, has retired due to engine issues. It's that big thundering Corvette done today. Hopefully we'll see him at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park as we race in his home area, Ontario.
46.6, that I believe is the fastest lap of the race for anybody. That cuts that lead from 0.4 to 0.9. We've taken half a second off, another half a second in just one lap here.
We've got side of 40 minutes remaining of this 100-mile Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli event. You can see Paul really able to get into the throttle again early on as he comes through the toe.
He is able to drive off. It's interesting with the different types of corners here, and like we've seen all season long, you know, we've got, these are 3 different chassis. This is a Riley, this is a Rocket Sports, and this is Claudio Burton's invention here.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 different chassis that act 3 different ways, and you've got 3 different driving styles here.
Is that significantly different in their designs? I haven't obviously looked too far with the bodywork off. Or are they fairly similar but just minor tweaks here and there?
Probably of all the different series, you're allowed the widest window in Trans Am for innovation. And Claudio's car started out completely different style, different rear suspension for everything. But they've been, another slow in here.
Yeah,
we're coming on a lap car, yep.
Catching up to Pinteric. And it looks like David's headed to pit lane. Oh, that's a shame.
That's our SGT 36 Carlson, but that's 57. David Pinteric coming to pit lane. A little bit of black smoke on that downshift there.
And Menard lost time on that last lap.
Oh.
Slipped back to 1.4 seconds.
Andretti answers with the fastest lap of the race. Sees that car getting bigger in the mirror and gets motivated all over again like he was on start to throw a big number. And that's hard to do once you've got a heat cycle from qualifying and a heat cycle in the race after that long yellow, to respond and pull away another half a second back to 1.4.
Here's a good look at Carlson's ride. Great looking Ford Mustang. He's eating the curbs pretty good.
This is a young driver that's got aspirations to go forward and keep climbing that ladder. It's a family-owned and run team. I love to see that in Trans Am. It's one of the coolest parts about what we see here. I see Menard again. That doesn't look 1.4 seconds. That looks like they've closed back and rubber banded again.
Yep, but it looks like Dyson's losing touch.
Dyson is slowly coming off. Let's see what the gap is. It was 1.4 seconds last lap. It's going to be like a 0.6, 0.7. .0.
Wow. On with Dyson. Here's what turn 1 looks like. Brake deep. Get back into the gas. You got a lot of racetrack to utilize here. Now you are flat out. Let's watch all the way in and through the bus stop. Climbing the speed, climbing the hill up through the S's here.
I mean, he's at 162 and he had to do a lift at the bottom of 2 and over the crest of 3.
Here's the bus stop. Cube 3 Architecture bus stop.
Look at that front. So if you ever see the driver with the peak steering wheel, peak steering angle in the wheel past the apex. He's probably screaming on the radio about understeer. And in turn one just now, when we were on board with this there, you saw he held that peak steering way past the apex instead of opening up his hands as he's on throttle. It's hard to get to full throttle when you've got that much steering input in here.
So he's fighting to keep in touch with Menard. I can't even see them right now. He comes up over the rise. They're already into the heel of the boot.
Menard again, looks like he's taken off maybe another tenth and a half here, so probably be half a second. The line, it was 0.70 difference.
And that Pittsburgh paint and stain number 3 Mustang of Menard still bottoming out, still showering sparks. I think with about half distance here that thing would be at a fuel level where that would stop happening now.
I'm guessing they're running pretty soft. So we've got a couple things happening. We've got Paul Menard, who's now closed into 0.50, half a second. Back end of the top liner, number 17 of Andretti, stepping out there under braking. So I'm guessing Adam's broken off a little bit of performance here as we're closing in on Grant, coming up through the S's.
Now, where Adam runs into that traffic could be huge here. If he can get around Grant before the chicane, which he will. Oh, and Grant allows Menard. By Menard driving inside, Adam makes the one move he can to block that entrance into Cube 3 Architecture bus stop. Now through the outer loop.
Here we go with the battle that Paul has been looking to set up, and
Ruman?
I think that's Amy Ruman back out on track. She could be going out to make sure she gets minimum laps for points
and maximum points too, since a couple of other guys have
that's
fallen out.
Smart.
She might be able to move up a spot or two.
Absolutely. That's a big gain, especially if she can, Drissi's helping her close her own championship on Tommy and keep this fight going. That's
friend and foe, right?
Yes. We're not even going to bother talking about tenths and gaps anymore. He's on his tail. That gap is going to fluctuate between a tenth of a second and a half a second each corner as they catch each other under braking and then drive off again. We were seeing Adam with that advantage driving off, but I think he might have used up those tires. And Paul, able to serve a little bit, is now definitely got something for Adam Andretti. Watch the back end of Andretti's car as he comes down the hill here. Just wiggling around a tiny little bit. I think he knew he wasn't going to be under attack there and was able to go. Little slide off the corner onto the paint.
It's interesting, in talking to Adam yesterday in the garage area, he said, I drive more like my dad, Aldo, a little bit more mental. He said, my brother, John, the late John Andretti, was more like my uncle, Mario, more up on the wheel and aggressive. Of course, Aldo, the twin brother of Mario. So it's a little bit of an interesting insight as to the brothers there, John and Adam, and how they approach their racing craft.
Obviously both quick. You do see a precision in Adam's driving, a logic that is typically not like a throw to the wind and just door somebody and let him go here. Back with our GT leader, Josh Carlson, in that number 36 and C Ford Mustang. Menard again, still right there. This is a really tricky spot with cars with this much downforce. When you've got a big wing in the back of Andretti, a huge front split, diving board-esque on the front of Menard's car. Now, all of a sudden, Paul's handling is going to start changing, and the same struggle that he had. Oh boy! Andretti misses the exit of the boot.
Problem. Yeah, got the corner wrong at 9, and that opens the door for Menard on the inside going to 10. He's got him. Oh man, one simple mistake changes everything.
So easy to hang a front tire coming up over the entry there, or maybe that back end stepped out. He had to catch it, caught it, didn't crash, but just enough. You lose a car length and you give Paul Menard that opening.
So here's the interesting part. You talk about the aeroflow off of these big wings and splitters and all that. Let's see how different it is now with the Camaro up chasing the Mustang, if it's a difference for Adam as opposed to when Paul was back there. Here they come down the back straight, headed to the Q3 Architecture chicane. Adam peeking inside. He's hanging right with him.
With Adam being loose into the corner now, maybe used up his rear tires, it's actually going to be easier for a loose car to get up behind a car that when you're going to typically lose your nose and get that understeer free already coming into that, you'll actually get a little bit of a better balance coming off.
Can't see if that's the 7 or the 8 yet. I believe that was Amy. She is now up to 10th. See if she can move up a little more. We know Peric has had issues. Beaton is out. So she might be able to gain 2 more spots, a little bit more points.
Adam's really able to drive deep into the toe. A little deeper than Paul was when he was behind Adam there.
That's right there, Andy.
He does not want this to be over. He's still going to be fighting hard for this win.
Loved our drone getting right down inside the side window of Adam's car. You can see those yellow gloves moving around in there.
No mistakes time coming off the heel for Adam.
More traffic in front of him. I believe they're closing in on Mason, yes.
Ray Mason, longtime friend of mine, longtime racer, been around for decades here. Second right now in our GT class.
Menard is better from 9 to 11, and Adam is better through the boot, it looks like.
Oh, and just what Paul didn't want. He wanted to be able to get there. Gets choked up a tiny little bit. Adam gets to clip it. Now here's the tricky part for Adam.
He's got to go.
Ray's heads up, big heads up, leaves room for Adam to get through there. Lets our title fight and our race fight go through.
Adam had to go, and he was able to do so. And this is where he starts to close in. He's got good speed down the back straight.
He does. He transitions well through here. Car looks very, whoa, little slide as I say that. He's on that gas, coming over that 4th curb. That's a lot of power to put down over a big jump and alligator curbing here.
Here's Grant. Running third behind Carlson and Mason in their GT category.
Right there. This is it. Again, the late apex that he's taking down into the laces, which is really unusual for most race cars, and then his braking ability and ability to turn into the toe. That's what brings him back to this race. That's what brings him back into this fight every lap, because Menard is driving off some of these other corners much better, but through the S's, into the bus stop, down the laces and the toe, those are the strong points for Adam. Everywhere else on the track, Paul is able to put some car lengths in between them.
2 things I've noticed. Menard down to a 145, quickest lap we've seen all day, but also Dyson down into a 146, which is where Andretti is. As you look here, Andy, you'll see Dyson starting to inch in a little bit. You could see them where he had lost him on the horizon before. Now he's got an eyeball on him.
And actually, there, that lap, that was Chris Dyson's fast lap, which sort of makes sense here. You start with big push, and you finally drive those rear tires off, which is all of these tires. It's the front's not going to get worse, the rear is going to get worse here. With a hot day like this and huge speeds, you're always going to, where that 800 horsepower is getting put to the ground, or the tire, or is the end of the car that's going to get you up first. So that balance now, coming back to Chris as he sets his fast lap, as that fuel turns off, as those tires wear and that balance shifts. We get a yellow here, and just really right back in this thing, probably with the best front tires or balance of anybody. As we see Adam go through here, this is one of his strong points for Adam here as he gets down through the laces and drives, 5-6 car lengths back here, big speed into this. Obviously, again, a little bit of this is accordion effect, but he does stick with him better, driving off that toe, into and off the toe of the boot.
There you see Dyson in the back, so he's definitely shown more speed now than he did earlier.
And that puts all of them within 0.2 of a second of each other on that last lap, so it has leveled off. We've got a gap from second to third that's pretty big, but Chris, we'll see in these next couple laps if he can start to chip away at that 4-second deficit to the fight for the lead.
Well, Paul Menard comes to the line to complete another lap. Let's see what the gap is here. It was 7/10. It's up to a second now between Menard and Adam Andretti. The 50th running of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli continues here at Watkins Glen International when SpeedTour 1 returns to upstate New York. Stay with us. And we continue here on our shimming coverage. Looked like Amy Ruman slowing, coming into the Sheheen. Here's Drissi, who's still a lead.
Let's take a lap with Drissi here and see what this, watch what this driver goes through. Watch his helmet down in that bottom left. What he goes through is he's pounding off of these curves right in here. You get these shocks and moving around and these quick jarring sensations left to right as your head bangs for each side of the halo. 100 miles an hour through this outer loop here. On our way down, the camera doesn't do it justice here. This is a very intimidating downhill braking zone where you, with that wall on the outside, if you hang up a front tire, it's treacherous. It's big time end of your day here. Now here, the lowest portion of elevation on this track into the steepest climb out. This is like a 5-story climb out. This isn't just basic, boring 180 corner. The toe of the boot has a gigantic elevation change and a flat tabletop, but then downhill entry of the heel. It is sort of just your basic kind of 100, 110 degree corner, but when you add that downhill factor right on the last downshift, it's tricky. Exiting the boot here, we come back onto the short circuit, which is normally your entry for your NASCAR or the IndyCar guys if they're running the shores too. Very quick corner, another 100-mile-an-hour corner, then you just slow down to about 90 miles an hour here, high 80s for mid-race here. Tommy's using up all of the road onto that curbing right up against the safer barrier and across start finish. Braking into turn 1. Who's this from them? I think that's Amy just circulating.
Speed Sport 1's live coverage of the Trans Am Series by Pirelli continuing here at Watkins Glen as Trans Am celebrates its 50th anniversary here at the famed upstate New York circuit. Andy, did you know the first road race after World War II was held in October of 1948 through the streets down the hill in the village of Watkins Glen?
Now I do. And look at this.
Yeah, Andretti closing in as we catch up to the backside of Grant here in the GT category. He's going to move over to allow Menard by, and Andretti's right there as well and closes right up on the backside of Paul Menard.
And the Adam Andretti, 46.0, that was his fastest lap of the race. Menard's actually done a 45.8, but on his last lap there was a tenth slower than Andretti, and he is chipping away. It's tough when you're right in that draft there to keep that corner speed up and actually make up time like this. We're seeing this sort of rub band effect between Paul and Adam again, still make through as Adam goes to fastest lap of the race at a 45.6, half a second faster than he's gone before, and that lap 0.2 of a second, so 0.3 of a second gained. Now back to Paul after that little mishap that lost him the lead out of the boot. He's charging again with his fast lap of the race here.
Andy, this is not a Trans Am race. This is a heavyweight title bout, and these two are swapping haymakers.
We've got Chris kind of distant here, probably going to end up at just third in the points on this, but our race win and our championship are on the line here. Again, Adam doing such a good job through a quick corner like that to not lose his pace there. He's really good down into the laces there.
Tell you what else is going to come into play here, Andy, as this race winds down with 22 minutes remaining. This 100-mile Trans Am Series by Pirelli event. Physical durability. Who's going to be able to hang in there at the top of their game the longest? It's a hot day, much hotter than last year here. Those cars getting hotter and hotter, those tires going away. It's going to be a long afternoon for these working as hard as they are.
I think we've got about 8 laps to go in this race. 21 minutes is our time limit, but we're going to be well ahead of that because we've had so many green flag laps. But these guys are already hot. They're already not interested in additional heat that they're going to get over these this next 10, 15, 20 minutes here.
Amy has moved up to 8th. You see her back on pit lane. She'd have to Grant, who's 2 laps down and 6 laps in front of her. So I think probably going to be the end of it for Amy Root here.
Paul opened up a little bit there, 1.1 seconds after 2 back-to-back laps. Paul answered
Carlson
with his fastest lap. Yeah, that's going to be right at that tricky point of the brake zone.
Yeah, and Carlson's going to be tougher to get around just because Carlson's quick.
He is quick. That car's quick. He's also 5th overall right here, so he doesn't want to give it order here. Playing it smart though, giving them both a lane. Knows what's up. Knows this is not for position. That did let Adam close in a little bit after Paul set his fast lap of the race at a 45.7 and Adam drifted to a 46.1. That gap opened up to 1.1 seconds. Again, already closed there. Really, really close here coming through the toe. Little wiggle by Paul coming off there, trying to get all that power to the ground. Those Pirelli's answering, but sliding that car around.
Boy, those P0s are getting to work out today. Look at Adam close on the entrance to the heel, and then Paul drives away.
7 laps remaining in this race. 6 next time by. Dyson has fallen off a lot. There had to be something up there. I think he might be sensing an issue and trying to nurse it home. He knows he's got a big gap to P4. Knows that P1 and 2 are not going to come in contact unless there's a mistake here, so he's probably just leveling this off.
If they stay the way they are, we'll see what happens with Menard and Andretti, but Dyson 5th will close the gap somewhat on 4th place points person Amy Ruman, and Amy will stay within striking distance of Drissi, who will continue to stay in 3rd in the championship standings.
That'll essentially break our, with 4 races to go after this, if this stays as it is, which is always just an if, as Adam is taken down now to under a second to Paul. That'll be our fight for 3rd between Tom, Amy, and Chris Dyson, and then pretty much a solidified fight for the championship between Paul and Adam here. They'll continue this to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park next month.
Amy
does her hair coming up here. It's a tough thing with much hair, taking that helmet off and expecting it to do anything in a hot day when you're sweating your tail off through here. Again,
Tell you what, Paul hasn't shaken Adam free, has he?
No, and Adam hasn't been able to force a mistake. I mean, we're seeing Paul drive the heck out of it here. Back and slipping and sliding, getting the power. It's funny, Paul looks like he's slipping off the corner more. Adam looks like he's slipping into the corner a little bit more.
Trent Short, Motul Camaro of Tomy Drissi.
Love this black and gold.
It's
car.
a great looking car.
If you guys don't follow Tomy Drissi online, they get some of the coolest shots out there.
Yep.
His Instagram page, at Tommy, that's only 1 M in Tomy, Drissi, Drissi. He's got some amazing in-car. They put camera all over that in practice, and it gives us some really cool shots.
Yeah, their social media works outstanding over there.
Paul Menard, last time by, fastest lap of the race. Adam Andretti sets his fastest lap of the race as well, with only 5 laps to go now in this race.
And not just in the Trans Am car. Tommy spends a lot of time wheeling the Chaparral Camaro in historic Trans Am. Those video clips, every bit as thrilling.
Absolutely.
There's Cube 3 architecture, bus stop chicane. Menard stilling up those big curves. And they got the tools on the inside of some of those too. But every bit as thrilling.
Absolutely.
There's Cube 3 architecture, bus stop chicane. Menard now 9 laps at the point of the field and growing. Menard now 9 laps at the point of the field and growing.
And that's important. That's a point. That's that championship that we're looking for every single point, so we can get Dakota and keep it within fighting distance here. Paul breaking right on the white line before arcing it in and getting every bit of radius as he rolls into these S's.
Menard continues to lead. We've got one more before you here on Speed Sport 1, so we can come back and show you finish live from here at the Glen as Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli works its way through the 50th running of this great American series here at the famed Watkins Glen International. We'll be right back. And the racing continues here at the Glen. Paul Menard out front of Andretti, Dyson, and Drissi, your top 4 in the Trans Am category. And it's Carlson, Mason, and Grant in our GT category, SGT. And then Amy Ruman will get credited with 5th overall in Trans Am in front of Paterick, Varela, and Masood.
Another chance for Adam here is proven to be just equal enough around each part of the course where we give and take and give and take. We're coming up to Ray Mason, who is P2, running out of Troy's TRB shop for the SGT. That is a TA2 car, essentially, that runs under our SGT rules. This is a pivot moment. Adams hoping that Paul catches him just in the zone. It looks like Paul's actually going to clear him, and we may have the opposite here where Adam gets hindered under braking.
Adam chipped away it a little bit, got a couple hundredths out of it.
And no way, he says, he makes that dive bomb for turn 1 to make sure the bumper in front of him is Paul's and not a lapped car. And like you said, he gained 2/100ths of a second on him on that lap, right at the 1.02 second gap that they've pretty much sat at all day here, up or down 2 or 3/10ths of a second.
3 laps remaining in this one.
Paul still hitting the curbs like it's qualifying, jumping off, sending those sparks flying over the second, third, and fourth curb there.
And Andy, sometimes in these final couple of laps is where we can see driver just lose their mental focus for a tick, and that can change everything. We saw that in Mid-Ohio. Looking at Adam Andretti slide as he comes through the toe of the boot, closing Paul Menard as this race heats up once again. With 3 laps remaining.
You can see the rubber laid down by Adam as our drone gets the top liner shot there. He knows we're coming to 2 to go, and this is everything. He'll either gain points here or lose points here today, just this one potential pass. That's about 7 miles left of racing here at our 3.4 mile track, coming to 2 to go, and Paul has got a 5-car length lead.
Adam doing everything he can. So hungry this year for this championship, which Menard has won. He is reigning titleist in the series.
Again, Adam Andretti setting fast lap of the race, including that black stripes that he left out of the toe of the boot, a 45.42, besting Menard's best lap of a 45.5, closing down within 0.85 now. This is it. He knows it's do or die right here. If he wants this W, he's had so many second place finishes this season. He wants that win. There's nobody in this field that wants it more. He's pushing, he's driving, he's slamming these curbs. He knows his best shot is down the laces and into and off the toe of the boot. He knows he's going to have 2 more shots at this shot and the white flag lap.
And they got traffic in front of them.
This could be pivotal again.
Right here, coming into the toe, which is where Adam is good. It's Grant and the Porsche 991. They'll catch him by the time they come to the heel, and both cars are passed.
Grant very heads up there, very professional. Saw him coming from way back, didn't hit them at all. Moved
Andy,
on over.
So impressive that this late in this 100-mile race on a very warm, very slick racetrack today, see these drivers, Menard and Andretti, putting these 145s as quick as they are at this time of the day.
Huge testament to our title sponsor, Pirelli. I mean, to be this deep in the race, 100 miles into burning rubber off, and these were the same tires they qualified with, as we see the white flag waving. At Andretti again, reset fast lap. But so does Paul Menard. They're both within a couple hundred of a second here.
Wide open, you can be sure, as they come thundering through the Optima Battery S's and head out onto the back straight. Well, they'll see speeds approaching 180 miles an hour before they take one more trip through the Cube 3 architecture chicane in anger. Here they come. Menard turns in, sparks showering underneath the Pittsburgh paints and stains Mustang. And right on his heels as they head out of the inner loop and into the outer loop. Next up, start moving to the left as you head to the boot right here. This is where Andretti is good as they come into the laces right through this section here, and it's all downhill. What have you got left on your brakes? Andretti closing again as they hit the toe. He's closed within a car length as they come out of the toe and start climb up over the crest Now a good passing opportunity as they head into the heel of the boot. Oh! Andretti slips, loses the front at the heel, and that's going to do it. He was pushing so hard, Andy.
He had to do it, had to
man.
make that move. He wanted that W. I think he's got a flat tire. That veered off car so quickly, it looked like something happened there. We might have hit some debris. He's going pretty good now. Probably just knock up. I mean, that's just when you've got your one shot, you've got to take it. You get a win in the Trans Am Series is so big as Paul Menard crosses the line to take W. Adam Andretti disappointed, but what a great charge.
He got nothing to apologize for. One of the best drives we've seen of the year out of Adam Andretti as he pushed all the way to the end. Here comes Dyson. Chris and the Gym Machine will finish third in the Trans Am Series today, in this 50th running of the Great American Road Racing Series. Paul Menard on a victory lap.
Boy, was that an exciting heel. I'd love to see a replay of that. The drone was right on Adam and focused as he turned down to the apex. It looked like just snapped
on him
and went to that outside, gathered it up. But that was
Mason
it.
Across the line, he'll take second in GT or SGT. Carlson will take first. That's win number 8 in a row, dating back to last year at Circuit of the Americas. 7 for him in 2025.
Paul's already got his gloves off. He's obviously hot in there. If he's taking off his gloves and trying to get some air in there, that's obviously a hot day. Tomy Drissi crossing the line before.
Here's that moment. Take us through it, Andy.
Adam right on the very outside edge of the track as he starts to roll in here.
Queuing it up again, we'll have another look at it for you. Still the cool down lap for our race winner, Paul Menard.
It looked like we paused it right there as Adam was literally on the left side paint, like an inch from the grass there. I thought maybe he might have caught a little dirt, but I think it was a little bit later into that. I think he just brought some big speed in and a little too much for what that car could handle and just slid that front out. But again, you can't discredit for him. I mean, it's what we want to see. We want to see those drivers going for it and making those runs and attempting those passes.
Here's a look at the results. Paul Menard will head to the Jim Weed Winner's Circle for the 4th time in 2025, his 6th podium of the year, and he will extend what was a 26-point lead coming into Watkins Glen. He'll get a little bit bigger gap as he gets a 6-week break and then heads a little further north to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park outside of Toronto in early August. Or actually late August.
It is
Labor Day weekend, right?
It's Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend, late August.
Another amazing high-speed track, gutsy place. Big commitment as we see Paul in the Pittsburgh paints.
Jim Weed Winner's Circle.
Well-deserved win, great battle.
My guess is his tongue's going to be hanging out a little bit, as will Adams and Chris's.
Can't wait to hear from Adam, from Paul. What a great battle. I mean, we've just seen so many between Paul, Chris, Adam, all year long. You pair these three up, and it makes just such a great fight.
50 years Trans Am has been running at Watkins Glen, and that was a classic Trans Am battle here. Way to celebrate the 50th.
Absolutely. Get to hear from them in our Jim Weed Circle here. By the way, I tried watermelon this weekend. I've been stuck on the fruit punch there as we see Paul get out, raise a hand.
Yeah, you love your Jim Weed.
I love that stuff, man. I'm hooked on the watermelon just as much as I am the fruit punch now.
Oh boy. All right, Eddie, you've got some worn-out race car drivers on a tremendous battle.
With Paul Menard, you told before the race you thought you had the speed to get past 2 cars in front, and they sure gave you a fight. Just how elated are you standing here in victory lane?
Man, a lot of fun, man, racing these Trans Am cars.
back at Watkins Glen, just an awesome racetrack, and we had a work cut out for us for sure. With little quality. I had a strong car all and drove. It was so good in practice. Drove great qualifying, and I'm glad that it was hot and slippery. That's kind of our strength. We learned that yesterday, and just hats off to my guys. They busted their tails this weekend. We fought a lot of gremlins, but they kept chipping at it. And always fun to race Adam and Andretti. We worked hard, we raced clean, and you got me honest.
And then looking at the season as a whole, after a bit of a rough weekend in Road America, how nice is it to be able to build back on championship lead here?
Yeah, it's Road America was a tough one for us. But, strong car there, just had a flat tire. This is the weekend we just kind of put it all together, and like I said, Adam, he doesn't give up either, so he's still in there in the hunt for points. But on the Moss board, and which is another wide open, badass track, so looking forward to going up there.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. Congratulations.
It was Jerry Titus in 1968 winning the first ever Trans Am Series event here. And today in 2025, it will be Paul Menard's name going into the record books here at Watkins Glen as the winner of the 50th running, the Trans Am Series by Pirelli here at this tremendous racing venue. We've got more to go here at the Jim Winter Circle. We're going to hear from Adam Andretti and the rest. Stay with us. We're coming back for more right here on Speed Sport 1.
Up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast reps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep racing delicious and enjoy all mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Fast to tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trail and you had an accident. Ouch! At least your insurance will pay for the one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, garage, or the repair shop. But Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're in the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from top names in performance. Priced to your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise, blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Here we are back at Watkins Glen, and you're looking high above the Jimweed Winner's Circle. See, Adam Andretti is out of the car, drinking some fluids, trying to cool down. Let's take a look at the highlights from today's event. This one got underway with Chris Dyson on the pole and Adam Andretti alongside on the outside, the front row. And this right here, the very, very start, headed into turn one, a huge moment in the race. Andretti gets the lead and a big gap over Dyson and Menard until the full course caution. Adam has to be wondering, Andy, what would have been or could have been had that not come out.
If he could have extended that lead and kept on going, let the fight with Paul and Chris sit where it is. Obviously, when you finish second on such a close race, you're going to have these reminiscing points for the rest of the day, or maybe all the way until the next race, which is tricky because that's 5 weeks away for Adam to think that one through. But still a solid points day. Great day for Menard coming out of the last corner here and through the bus stop, as we saw him all day making really good rotation and grip through there, showering us with sparks.
And on that final lap, what a battle all the way to the heel of the boot when Andretti drove in so deep and just lost the front of the car right here. You can see, as you said, he had turned in, the car started to go right, and then all of a sudden snapped left on him. Great catch by Adam. That's all it took for Menard pull away to the win. his 4th of 2025 and his 6th podium of the year as he extends the points. All right, let's go to Eddie Fuhr for the podium celebration. Take it away, Eddie.
Let's get the podium celebration underway here for our podium finishers at Watkins Glen. And we have a very special guest helping us present the trophies today. Please welcome the Chief Partnership Officer at Pirelli Motorsports Holdings, Scott Duncan. We will begin with the podium finishers in the SGT class. Beginning with our third place finisher, driver number 55, our 2022 champion, Milton Grant. And in second place in SGT, driving to number 00, Ray Mason. And he's been dominating the SGT class all year. Our class winner here at Watkins Glen, number 36, Joshua Carlson. Let's take a second to speak to our podium finishers. Beginning over here with Milton, you've been with us for a while, coming back out here. You're on the podium mid-Ohio, back on the podium at Watkins Glen. How does it feel?
It feels pretty good. Just glad the rain held off. We had a great day. You know, of course, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and for this beautiful weather, you can't beat it. So, great day.
All right, thank you so much, and great job, Milton. Moving over here to our second place finisher, Ray Mason. Ray, having quite fun out there, right?
Heck no, I was scared to death the whole time. So for those of you who haven't driven this track, very high speed and very intimidating. And I know you'll find it's hard to believe that I'm extremely old, but I'll be back.
Yep, and a great run today. Second place, heading over to our winner in GT. Yet again, Josh Carlson standing on top of the podium. How are you feeling after taking the class win?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, we led the whole weekend in practice, qualifying, and the race. I'd like to thank Siva. Without them, I'll be, racing this weekend. Had a lot of fun racing with Milton and Ray. Hope to see them out at the next race. And thank you to the girls out there who bought some merch today. If anyone else wants some merch, scan the QR code on the car. Got some Josh Carlson merch, so that's about it.
All right, thank you so much, Josh. And let's give a hand for our SGT podium finishers. And we are handing out some awards courtesy of our partners at Coolbox for each of the drivers. One more time, a hand for our SGT podium. Fantastic to see these guys walk on to the class podium. And next, we are going to award our podium finishers in the TA class, beginning with the number 16, Chris Dyson. Joining Chris on the podium, the number 17, Adam Andretti. Adam Andretti, the owner of our MCO Leader Award for the laps he led during the race. And the race winner, picking up his first Trans Am win at Watkins Glen, Paul Menard. And let's talk to our podium finishers, beginning over here with Chris Dyson. Started on pole today, still ending up finishing on the podium out here in your home state.
Yeah, I mean, we went backwards from the start. It's hard to say a lot of good things about a race like that. I think I probably could have hung with these guys a little bit more in traffic as the race went on, but we just had an unfortunate incident in traffic. Just some people out there driving around without mirrors on the car. It's kind of hard.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. Moving over to our second place finisher, Adam Andretti. You got to lead quite a lot of that race, and then you were hanging right up there with Paul all the way till the end.
Yeah, great race overall for the Top Liner Burton Racing Group. I'm just so blessed to be working with this group. It's an amazing group of people, and the support that we get with Top Liner and personal support with Bell helmets and Hinchman racing suits. But the day was looking like ours. That first caution I probably didn't need. I mean, we had a pretty standing gap at that point. We're feeling really good flow, and then lost the front end in turn 9 where Paul was really good coming out of the booth there, and he was able to get underneath me, and then we just kind of had a battle till the end. But I owe my guys one on this one. I let that bottom open, and that won't happen again, not on my watch. But great job to Paul, and congratulations to him and the 3GT crew. Did a good job.
Thank you, Adam. Congratulations on second place. And now talking to the race winner, Paul Menard. Just how cool is it to be able to stand on top of this podium?
Obviously great to be back in the Trans Am Series at Watkins Glen, one of my favorite racetracks. Just a badass racetrack, and I was telling Adam, we just did 100 miles of qualifying. I mean, we were on it every single lap. Car held up. I got a little loose at the end, but we had a tough weekend. I mean, we battled a lot of different gremlins, and my boys put it all together for the race, and the car was just solid all race. Every session that we're in, it was solid. We just had little gremlins that we worked out, but on to Mosport, we love that track up there. Another badass high-speed track, and Adam's keeping us honest in the points. We just keep at it.
And having the pass for the race win in the second half of the race, can you just walk through that move real quick?
Yeah, I mean, my car was very solid under braking, and I could roll into the apex really well. Adam just missed an apex. He missed a couple apexes early and kind of put a little pressure on him. Then he missed one big in turn 9, so I got a shot out underneath him, and on the outside of turn 10, he can't hold on there. So once we got a little clean air, we could kind of set sail through the S's. Obviously, high speed turns 2, 3, 4. Being out front is a huge advantage. So being out front, a big deal, and then we could kind of play cat and mouse a little bit with them.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. Congratulations on the win. All right, who wants some hats? Gotta hear you. Gotta hear you. Throw those ones out there. There we go. Woo-hoo! And here's some hats from our partners at Pirelli.
And make sure we mention Jim Weed, and they can come up and get it after.
And we also like to shout out our partners at Jim Weed. You can come up onto Victory Lane and get them afterwards.
Okay. Well, those, and then you got the champagne coming your way.
And then here is the champagne for our top 3. Give another hand for our TA class podium. Paul Menard, Adam Andretti, and Chris Dyson.
Thank you, man. Eddie.
Yep.
Come down and get Jim Weed.
All of our fans out here, you can come down and get some Jim Weed courtesy of our partners. And just give one more big round of applause for all of our podium finishers here in the Trans Am Series.
All right, they wrap up the activities at Jim Weed Winner's Circle. We'll go ahead and take a quick break here on Speed Sport 1, but stay with us. We have more coming your way in the 50th running of the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli at Watkins Glen.
Racing every second counts. Communication is just important. It's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, SpeedCom Communications was born from passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! Your truck's insurance will pay for another. Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the pack, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hattie, we can protect what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of racers. Haggerty, let's drive together.
Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 40 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for meeting information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Back here at Watkins Glen, and we want to thank Eddie Fuhrer for joining us and helping us with all of our pre-race, post-race interviews and coverage. And we miss our buddy Ben Sissel, who unfortunately couldn't be here this weekend, but we know Ben will be with us at the next round. So, Ben, we look forward to seeing you there, and a nice job here today.
Yeah, Ben, better, buddy. We're rooting for you back there. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Well, Mr. President, for a 50th running, that was a pretty darn good Trans Am race. As we look at the schedule, what's coming up next, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park on Labor Day weekend, then it's Virginia International Raceway, Barbara Motorsports Park, and Circuit of the Americas. And we are going to have the Western Championship with us at COTA. They will also be in action with two doubleheaders in this month in Portland, and then in October at Thunder Hill, both out there on the West Coast.
Both of those races for doubleheaders too as well. That's a unique part of our schedule there. Looking at our points here, our TA National Drivers Championship is just as close, just about leaving here as a 1 and a 2, 673 to 47. That's a 28-point gap. 25 gap. What's my math here?
Yeah, that was before the start of the race.
Yeah,
it's 26 points.
Yeah, and now we're looking at probably about 30-point gap, which is nothing. That's one little hiccup as we roll through here with 4 races to go. This is still up in the air between Andretti and Menard. Drissi, Truman, and Dyson are sort of in a fight on their own for that 3rd place in the championship. And we've kind of carved it out this weekend. It's Menard and Andretti heading to go.
Tommy sitting there in 3rd in the championship. Definitely one of the characters in the paddock. We had a chance to chat with Tommy earlier in the weekend.
Tomy Drissi here at Watkins Glen, running the TA class. It's kind of crazy. I started so late. I just used to sneak my Camaro out and in Hollywood and go up to the Hollywood Hills. I think I wasn't go-karting. I was a basketball player. So I mean, I think I got the itch just driving through the canyons and not going too crazy. I wasn't one of these. I did end up in the black and white in the back seat one time without the cuffs. They scared me. So finally when I had a chance, I was much older when I started. So I did a little vintage racing in old cars because I had some means to do that, and you'll get an old Corvette. And then I kept getting kicked out over aggressive driving, so they said, hey, you should go try Trans Am. And I feel like I was right at home. Oh man, there's just nothing like these fire-breathing wagons. They make 900 horsepower. Got some pretty good downforce now. No driver aid, no traction control, no AS brakes. You still got to shift them. And the racing is insane. We've been on the podium. We're third. I guess we're third in the championship, so we're on the podium in a sense overall. But I think tomorrow it's hot. And I think that's going to be another competitor you're dealing with. It's really hot, humid. I think this is the first race where it's been this hot and humid. I think that everyone's going to have to have their head on straight and not make mistakes.
And Tommy, always a fun guy to visit with. So much interesting racing history, and as we said earlier, driving in the Trans Am Championship and also in historic Trans Am. So he's got a lot of fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and he touched on some of the hot topics of the day, literally, our heat, that the traditional competitor of the heat, and what you have to do leading up to these races to be winning. And honestly, he's a talent. He's on it, and always shows well with us here.
Actually, it was turn 8 where things went haywire.
You're right. Yep.
For Adam, and then pass completed and the race over by the time they got to 9. And, of course, we got to thank our friends at Pirelli for providing those incredible P0s that gave us such an exciting fight here today. Ben Sissel took a look at Pirelli at the beginning of the season.
Well, this is the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. So here I am in the Pirelli tent. What we want to do right now is kind of walk through the process. So Amy Ruman has been nice enough to drop off 4 used sets of tires or beautiful Forge Line wheels, and then the Pirelli guys, they just hopped up like they know what they're doing. He's X'd them out. He basically is the one that's going to mark us and tell them they just turned in 4 tires. They're going to get 4 new tires, and he invoices them. No money is exchanged here at track. See, he's writing her number, the number 23 on that beautiful red McNichols Corvette. He's basically, all they're doing is stacking it up, fronts and the rears. They moved through here. You can see this is the left front, this is the right front, and now they're coming in here to the dismount. Now these are the Forge Line wheels. They put them on here. This thing comes in, takes the bead. You see it, it's about to take the bead and basically squish the tire down, and they run it through. And you can tell the muscle memory of these Pirelli technicians is unbelievable. This is a lot harder, more difficult than they make it look, as now they're basically coming through to dismount the tires. You can hear everything is through their air compressor. Now they're taking it off the bead. And they've got it fully dismounted. So they're the old tire, and now they put the new tire on. This is the lubing. They just kind of lube bead, and I did hear they have to put more lube on the bead for the TA2 tire than on these TA Forge Line wheel tires, and they're mounting the tire. Obviously, with the muscle memory that's happening right now with these Pirelli technicians, they've done this thousands of times, I would say. So now they come up here to inflation. And the first thing that the inflator will probably, one of the first things, so they've got these little innards go inside the valve stem. You see that? That's what you're pushing when you have to put air into the tires or out of the tires. That goes in. He's airing it up. And you can see this part, I guess, gets kind of dangerous. You don't want your fingers in there when the bead pops, we just heard. And then just in case, they've put a cage around this. And then how many pounds, first time you inflate, how many pounds are you putting in this?
We're going to find out it's about 50.
50 pounds, okay. So basically you put it up to 50 just to get beads to pop, and now you bring it down to whatever, 30. Okay, so they're going to 30 pounds. And then it comes down here to balance. And balance is kind of, Not that this isn't a science anywhere, but the balancing is really one of the most critical aspects of this, because then the car won't shake or vibrate, and the drivers will feel a lot better. If a tire goes out of balance or a wheel goes out of balance, that can really mess them up. This is the balancer, and this is a computer generated, and it rotates itself, and then it'll tell them where to put the weights. It'll tell them where to rotate and then what weights they need where. So there's the green mark on the tire. What is it telling you which weights to put where?
Each one of these is a quarter ounce. It's asking for 2 ounces. You're going to have 8 total. That arrow right there indicates top dead center, which is right here.
Okay. So the green arrow tells the top dead center, and he's putting the weights in there. Then he's going to do it again and see if it passes. Have you ever had a perfectly balanced tire without weights?
Yeah, it happens from time to time.
That's kind of like a lucky strike. 3 cherries at the slot machine. So that looks good. That passes, balanced. And now it comes out here, the number 23, and keep the tires together, but then they'll stack them out here. So let's watch this balancing process one more time, because it is pretty neat to watch. So they've got these, looks like these are quarter ounce. So I'm holding right here 1 ounce of wheel weights. Then they've got this very sticky double-sided underneath, and then they have to be flexible, obviously, because they go inside the rim, and then they do everything they can to make sure all the weights are on the inside and not the outside. You know, on your street car, you might have weights that are clipped or adhered to the outside, like meaning what you can see, but the Pirelli, they try to do everything to the inside. So now it's just going around, and I guess the computer device is feeling where it's out of balance.
Exactly, yeah. It's got a sensor inside that can feel the heavy out of the tire.
Well, look at that. I can sense it. I just gave you 1 full ounce right there. And now you're looking for the green arrow for top dead center. That's pretty amazing. So after balancing, they line them back up here, and it's at the team's leisure to come and pick them up whenever. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Unless they are having to wait for them, if it's like a race set or something like that, or holding them to be released for the time of a race.
So that is the Pirelli. That's the whole process. I've heard that there's been weekends a few years ago. Sebring, they went through 1,300 tires total with IGT, with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. This weekend, they're going to go through just over 600 tires, and they've got the assembly line working. We're kind of early on. This is just kind of test practice sessions, but as the weekend progresses, we might see more and more tires rock through here. But that's how Pirelli does the Pirelli tires for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. A great marketing partner to have in the series. They're doing so much R&D for us, and hopefully we're doing the same for them. It's kind of a mutually beneficial relationship, but that's kind of assembly line here at Pirelli.
All right, and thank you. Don't forget, more great racing action coming your way today on Speed Sport 1. In fact, we will have a re-air of a replay of today's Trans Am Series race presented by Pirelli later tonight here at Speed Sport 1. And then tomorrow it's Monday Mayhem, and then we have highlight action from IHRA in Ohio, their first race of the year. We'll have new episodes of Prime Cuts and lots of other great racing heading into next weekend. Well, Andy, let's put a button on the 50th running here at Watkins Glen. What'd you think?
For race number 50 here, I couldn't have asked for a closer battle all the way down to the finish line. Classic names like Menard and Andretti. The guys fighting for the championship are fighting to win. That's what we want to see. I'm stoked. I'm happy. I know that going into the last third of the season, 4 races to go. Canada up next. We had a great battle today. Looking forward to more.
Looking for seeing all of our Canadian friends at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park on Labor Day weekend, end of August. For Andy Lally and Eddie Fuhr, I'm Ralph Sheheen. Congratulations to Paul Menard. We'll see you up in Mosport in a few weeks. So long, everybody.